Welcome to SkyFox Universe, where every story takes flight.
SkyFox Universe, Episode 1, Zero All, the second moon, soft, distant city ambience, a low electrical hum under everything. The city of Cloudburst was never truly dark even past midnight. It glowed, billboards burning neon into the low clouds, traffic lights cycling for empty intersections, phone screens shining in the hands of insomniacs. From far above, it would have looked like a restless constellation someone had dropped onto Earth by mistake. But on this particular night, something else was watching. It began at 晚上1:58, not with an explosion, not with a siren, but with something smaller, a flicker. One by one, the lights on the eastern side of the city stuttered not off, not yet, just a tiny shiver in the grid. Security cameras blinked, elevator panels glitched, the street lamp on Crestline Avenue bus fizzled, then flared twice as bright. Most people didn't notice. Most people were asleep, or pretending to be on the 10th floor of a gray apartment block that looked like every other gray apartment block. Evan Hale was very much awake. His room was lit only by a thin blue rectangle of his laptop screen and the city haze sneaking in through half-open blinds. On the desk, physics notes, an untouched practice test, and a half-eaten instant noodle cup going cold. He stared at the same sentence for the third time. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. The words swam, tell that to my brain, he thought. His eyes burned. He scrubbed his hands over his face, then glanced at the digital clock on the wall. 晚上1:57, he should have been asleep hours ago. He had class in the morning, then a lab practicum, then if he was lucky, 3 more things he could fit. He reached over and clicked the laptop lid shut. The room dropped into deeper blue shadows. For a second, the hush felt almost peaceful. Then the hum started. At first, he thought it was the neighbor's AC unit, an old, rattling thing that usually wheezed through the wall. But this was different. Lower, more, focused. It vibrated in his teeth, in the bones behind his ears. It was a sound he didn't just hear. He felt it. What then? Evan sat up straighter. The digital alarm clock on his bedside table flickered. 1:4711,811,5710. Then, all the numbers scrambled, symbols glitching in blue. Okay, that's new, he whispered. Reached out and gave the clock a tap. The numbers froze at 1:52. The hum deepened outside his window. Something changed in the way the city glowed. A faint pulse moved across the skyline, like a wave, passing through an ocean of light, buildings dimming and brightening in sequence, as if some invisible hand were dragging a shadow across Cloudburst. Evan stood and crossed to the window below. The streets looked normal at first. A few late buses tracing their usual routes. The red blink of an ambulance in the distance. The far-off glitter of the old Skyway bridge, but the sky was wrong. He pushed the blinds up with the back of his hand, forward nearly touching the glass. The stars were dull tonight, choked by the city's glow. The moon, he searched for it, out of habit. He'd been staring at it since he was a kid, back when he and his father used to. Don't go there. He found it at last, hanging above the western hills. A thin, pale crescent, almost swallowed by haze. Nothing strange about that. He exhaled, and in the far eastern sky, something else rose slow. Silent, too big, too bright, too wrong. It started as a hazy smudge, like a cloud catching the city's reflection. But it sharpened as it climbed. A second, fuller curve, taking shape high above the horizon. A second moon. Evan blinked hard, opened his eyes wider. It was still there, round, heavy, and close, enough that he felt irrational. like he could reach out and draw new scars across its glowing face with his fingernails. The light it cast wasn't the calm silver he knew. It was colder, slightly tinted, like the glow of an old TV screen blue-white, with a faint, sickly violet edging. The hairs on his arms rose, his phone buzzed on the desk behind him, vibrating in short. Nervous spurts, Evan didn't turn away from the window as he grabbed it. The lock screen lit up with a barrage of notifications. Mom, did you feel that? Our lights just flickered. Group chat. Cloudrest high survivors. Anyone else see 2 moons, or did I finally fail sleep? Bro, my internet just died. Screenshot, or it didn't have news alert. Unidentified celestial. The feed froze. The icons melted into gray static, then vanished as his phone restarted itself without asking battery. 7%signal. No service to hum. In the room climbed another notch. Evan swallowed. This. It's fine. Probably some atmospheric stuff. Experimental satellite. Drunk weather balloon. He didn't believe himself. His heart thudded too loud in his chest, matching the bass of the unseen frequency vibrating through the apartment. He watched as the second moon climbed higher until it sat almost above the city center. Hovering just off from the real moon, which looked suddenly frail beside it, Cloudrest held its breath. Traffic slowed. People stepped out onto balconies. In high-rise offices, night janitors drifted toward windows. Moths in trash bags forgotten forever. Moment, the city was united in a single, shared thought. What is that? And at exactly 凌晨1:00, the world skipped. The hum cut out. The air went still. Every light in the city died. The digital alarm clock on Evan's nightstand went black. The streetlights below flickered once and vanished. Neon signs melted away into shadows. Even the distant red dots atop the skyscrapers winked off, as if some gigantic, invisible thumb had pressed a global power button. Cloudrest, for the first time in decades, chased in true darkness. Evan's breath pitched. The only light left came from Pop. The second moon blazed without the competition of human electricity. Its strange glow flooded the city, pouring into alleyways, painting rooftops with a pale, unnatural halo. The shadows it cast were too sharp, too long. Bending around corners, they shouldn't be able to reach. Evan felt it hit his skin like cold fire. Back of his neck prickled. For a heartbeat, there was silence, no traffic. No music thumping through the wall from the neighbor's speakers. No hum of refrigerators, air conditioners, or laptop fans. Just the thin rush of his own breathing and the drum of his pulse in his ears. Then, other sound arrived. A whisper, not in the room, not outside the window, inside his head. It was quiet at first. Not a voice, exactly more like a breeze stirring through old paper. A faint crackle of static under his thoughts. Anomaly. He flinched. Who's there? He whispered, because saying nothing felt worse. No answer. Only the second moon, huge and electric, staring back. He shut his eyes. Opened them again. The city below had changed. Under the second moon's glow, edges sharpened. Colors drained out, everything washed into shades of blue and violet as if someone had pulled a filter over reality, except not everything. Down on the street, a parked car shimmered around its outline, a faint red glow rippling across its surface like heat above asphalt. A rooftop antenna across the way spat little arcs of light, silent lightning crawling over metal. Evan's skin prickled. He pressed his hand flat against the glass. The glass was freezing, and under it, beneath the cold light, he felt a second pulse out of sync with his heartbeat. Like the city has its own pulse, he thought. No. Like something under, the city is waking up. The whisper sharpened. Time. It sounded like a voice. Found one. Evan. He backed from the window. His heel caught the edge of the rug. He stumbled. hit the side of his desk and sent his physics notes slithering to the floor. Okay, I'm losing it, he muttered. Sleep deprivation. Noodles. Bad combination. The room tilted. No, not the room. Everything for a split second. Gravity forgot what it was supposed to do. The cup of pens on his desk rose an inch into the air, hovered, then rotated gently. The dust motes in the beam of moonlight paused, suspended like a constellation of tiny, waiting stars. Evan's stomach lurched. His body swore they were falling. His eyes swore they were standing still. He tried to step forward, but his foot met resistance half a second before he expected it, as if the floor had jumped up to meet him, timeless, wrong. He realized the second moon's light intensified, boring through his thin curtains, slicing the room into harsh planes of glow and void. Something inside his chest responded. A tiny spark clicked like a lock being tested from the inside, he gasped. Grabbing at his shirt, his heart hammered, but the beat felt layered, as if another rhythm, slower and deeper, was trying to align with it. Cold spread from his sternum, radiating out in fine, sharp threads. His fingertips tingled. What is happening to me? He squeezed his eyes shut. For one suspended moment, there was nothing but darkness and the alien light burning through his eyelids, painting red veins across black bed. In that darkness, he saw it. Not with his eyes, with something else shaped, a long muzzle, sharp ears, eyes, like twin shards of white fire, a tail of light, trailing off into stardust. It was made entirely of the same blue-white clothing. Bathed the city, but compressed, focused, alive. Its outline trembled at the edges, as if it were constantly reforming, struggling to hold itself together. It stared straight at him. I am not insane, he thought numbly. I'm actually seeing this. The creature tilted its head. For just an instant, it overlapped perfectly with the silhouette of his own body, the ears where his ears should be, the tail where his spine ended like a second skin made of starlight, trying itself on for size the deep, slow rhythm inside his chest sink, just for a beat, with something else with it, and then, all at once, the pain hit white-hot, needle-sharp, threading through his bones. He doubled over, air punched out of his lungs in a hoarse, strangled sound he barely recognized as his own. His knees smashed into the floor. His fingers clawed at the carpet, leaving furrows. His body felt longer and lighter, and wrong and stop. His hands were glowing through the blur of pain. He watched his own fingers flicker at the edges, their outlines fuzzing into light, as if someone were trying to erase him and kept changing their mind. His nails sharpened into thin, curved points before snapping back. For a heartbeat, there was fur-fine, silver white, catching the moonlight where his skin should have been, and it was gone. The creature in his mind howled without sound waves of blue-violet energy, if that's what it was rippled out of him. Invisible to the eye, but heavy enough to knock the cup of pens fully off the desk next to him. They froze midair, then burst outward, clattering against walls like tiny, confused meteors. Evan choked on his own breath, make it stop. Please, the whisper, no. The voice came back. Closer now. Inside the pain. Subject responsive. Integration at 3%. It wasn't addressing him exactly. It was reporting on to who? He gasped, barely aware he'd spoken. The room offered no answer, but in some space he couldn't name. Just beyond the edge of understanding, he felt something vast shift its attention a fraction of an inch toward him, like an eye half-opening. Second pulsed. The cold in his veins surged, then snapped taut, like a cable yanked to its limit. He screamed. His scream never left his throat. The sound bent outside, down on the sleeping street. A line of parked cars shuddered. their windshields spiderweb in perfect, identical rings, as if struck from the inside by invisible fists. A traffic light at the intersection of Merrill and Third burst, and a shower of glass cascading onto the empty crosswalk below. On the opposite rooftop, a flock of pigeons exploded into the air, scattering in a panicked swirl. None of them made a sound. The world was still on mute. Inside apartment Xu, Lingqi, Evan's eyes flew open for a heartbeat. They were not their usual dark brown. They were white, not rolled back, no eyes, no pupil, just two blank, glowing discs, matching. Second moon's color perfectly. He saw nothing and everything. Streets, rooftops, the underbelly of the city lines of energy, faint and intricate, like a spiderweb spun beneath the concrete. Nodes of brighter light where old things slept, and across that web, other pulses trembling away. He wasn't the only one. There were more. He realized, though he didn't know how he knew. Lights, eyes. For a second, his awareness brushed against something else, someone else, another mind, flaring bright with the same cold fire. It recoiled instantly, a hiss of surprise, or anger, or maybe laughter. Skated along the edge of his thoughts, so a new voice murmured in the dark, not the machine-flap whisper from before, but something amused. They're waking up again. The connection, snap sound returned. All at once, the fridge in the kitchenette picked up back to life. Distant car, alarms wailed in overlapping shrieks. People shouted from balconies. A dog barked furiously down the street. Voice cracking with panic. The lights in Evan's room blazed out. Too bright, he collapsed onto his side, sucking in breath like a drowning man who'd been yanked to the surface at the last possible second. The pain retreated in slow, stubborn waves, leaving his muscles trembling and his skin cold and slick with sweat for a while. All he could do was lie there, listening to his pulse roar in his ears. Evan? A voice, muffled, through the wall. His neighbor. You okay, man? That blackout was crazy. He tried to answer. What came out sounded more like a cough than a word. His throat burned. I'm fine. There was a pause. If your power's still out, I've got candles, the neighbor offered. Evan looked around. Every lamp in his room was on. The digital clock on his nightstand blinked. Reset 凌晨2点整, just 12, like the last 2 minutes had never happened. He swallowed. I'm good. He called, forcing his voice into something like normal. Footsteps retreated on the other side of the wall. Silence crept in again. But it was a different kind of silence now. The ordinary kind. The one he more or less knew how to live with. Slowly, painfully, he pushed himself up into a sitting position, his muscles protesting. His head throbbed. He looked down at his hands. 5 fingers, normal nails, no blow. He flexed them. They shook. Did I imagine all that? He glanced at the rack. The pens that should have scattered everywhere were impossible, aligned in a neat arc along the edge of his desk, tips all pointing the same way. His physics notes had landed open to a random page, but every line of text was underlined in the same pale blue pen, his pen, which lay capped beside the notebook even though he hadn't touched it. His gaze slid to the window. He forced himself to crawl toward it and pulled the blinds back again. The sky stared down, blank and smug. The original moon hung alone now, timid and wan. The second moon was gone, no trace. No afterimage, just a faint, ordinary haze. Cloudrest below was already buzzing its way back to normal, the power grid stuttering, then steady, streetlights returning in irregular patches. Sirens wound up in the distance, chasing minor accidents and major panic. Evan pressed his forehead to the glass. The city felt wrong. It was subtle, like a smell you couldn't quite name, lingering after someone had walked out of the room. He closed his eyes. In the darkness behind them, the image of the glowing fox-shaped lantern. Not as clear now. More like the memory of a dream on a dreamlet. Had left fingerprints on his bones. He forced himself to his feet, one hand trailing along the wall for balance. His phone buzzed on the desk again. Signal. 2 shaky bars. Notifications stacked up as the network caught its breath. The top one was from his mother. Mom, are you there? Power went crazy. Call me when you wake up. I mean, Evan, he stared at the message for a long time. His thumb hovered over the call button. Then, slowly, he set the phone back down. What am I even supposed to say? Hey, Mom. The city had a cosmic seizure, and I turned into a walking light shelter. Minute, how was your night? He sat on the edge of the bed, elbows on his knees, hands clasped so tightly his knuckles ached. From somewhere far below the alley behind their building, maybe a cat yawned. The sound cut through the thin walls, sharp and oddly familiar, like the echo of the silent halt he'd felt in his bones minutes before, or seconds, or hours. He had no idea how much time had really passed. He dragged in another breath and let it out slowly. You're fine, he told himself under his breath. You're just tired. Stressed. Everyone in the city saw something weird, that's all. Power surge. Optical illusion. Collective insomnia. Out loud, the words sounded flimsy. He lifted his head. His eyes met his reflection in the darkened window. For a heartbeat, there was nothing unusual, just a tired 16-year-old with messy hair and shadows under his eyes, staring back at himself like he'd just survived a car crash and wasn't sure how then. As the apartment lights flickered once more, just a tiny hiccup, barely there his reflection changed. He didn't move. He did. He flinched, shoulders jerking. His reflection stayed perfectly. Still, its eyes were a fraction. Too bright, its outline a fraction, too sharp, and then impossibly subtle, but unmistakable now that he'd seen it, was the faintest suggestion of 2 pointed shapes rising from his hairline, ears, fox ears, made of darkness rain with a whisper of light. His actual hands flew to the sides of his head. Nothing. When he looked again, the ears in the glass were gone. The reflection was normal, still him, still human, still fragile. But the memory of what he'd seen dug into his spine like claws, a chill skating down his back. He backed away from the window without entirely, consciously deciding to grab the small, battered backpack hanging from his chair. He dug through it until his fingers brushed the cold metal of a flashlight he kept for power outages. He clicked it up. The beam cut a solid path through the room's artificial light. Stubborn and narrow, just a flashlight. Just a dark room. Just a strange night. He sat back on the bed, the flashlight still in his hand like a talisman. If I go to sleep now, he thought, I'll wake up tomorrow, and this will feel like a weird story the news exaggerates. People will make news. Hashtags. Conspiracy threads. But underneath that thin, hopeful line, something else had taken root, a quieter, thought a heavier one. That thing in the sky wasn't a glitch. It knew I was here, the voice from the dark echo in the back of his skull, whether he wanted it to or not. They're waking up again. Who? He whispered into the empty room. The fridge hummed. A car drove by outside, tires hissing on asphalt. Somewhere, a siren doppered past, no answer. But when he finally lay down, fully dressed, flashlight still in his hand, eyes fixed on the crack of the door, in case anything decided to step through sleep. Didn't bring oblivion. It brought light, cold, sharp, fox-shaped light, running under his skin like a second bloodstream, and far above clouders, beyond the reach of ordinary telescopes, something that was not a moon turned slowly in the dark. It listened to the new, uncertain pulses, flickering alive, In the web below, it watched the ball in the 10th floor apartment curl tighter around his feet. It remembered, and it waited, fade out on a distant, low, non-human echo of a fox's howl. Swallowed quickly. By city noise. To be continued.